Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm really pleased to have you today. So, I'm Antoine Larousse, the Seed Program Manager at Leonard. So today I will just put a little bit of context to understand what is Seed Program, and then you will have the startup pitch session. So, what's a Seed Program? Seed Program at Leonard, it's the startup incubation program. So we help startups from post-prototype to pre-industrialization phase to improve their product market fit in meeting our operational entities. Also accelerate their go-to-market to find the first contract within a Vinci Group, and also to build a strategic network with Vinci and also investors. So, just to give you some figures, we have supported 44 startups in 6 years. We have raised more than 53 million euros, 35 million in equity, 18 million in non-dilutive financing. We have already signed almost 500 contracts between the startups and Vinci operational entities, and more than 5,000 employees on Vinci had interaction with our startups. A focus on the cohort, 2025 cohort. So just to give you several figures, we started last year in September 2024 to the selection. We got almost 500 application files, so a lot. And in the end, we got 7 startups selected. So it's a long process, but in the end, the quality of the startup is super interesting. And the sourcing of these, it's super important. We are not alone for that. We are helped also with several partners. As BuiltWorlds, for example, we also helped with several corporates and also investors like CVCs and VCs. And the most important thing is all these startups has been evaluated by operational people. What we want is to be sure that there is a strong interest from our operational people, to be sure that we can work and we can make a partnership between Vinci entities and startups. So this year, we got 7 startups selected in 3 categories: climate change adaptation, Contech, and operations. And here are the startups. So we have Albedia, Climera, Newable for climate change adaptation. On Contech, you have Sian and Enlay. And for operations, we have Highlight and Blue Spine. Several figures of the support of this startup. So with these 7 startups, in 5 months, we have already 7 signed contracts between these startups and operational entities of Vinci. That represent also 258 hours of meetings between operational people and the startups to be sure that the product market fit is validated. And also we have met more than 100 entities. So the startup that you will face today, they know what they do and they know where the business is. Also, a good news for you and for the startups here today, we will open the application session for Seed Program 2026. So, you know the selection is hard, but you have to test to have no regret. So don't hesitate to take a picture of this QR code. We will evaluate these, and if you have any questions and if you need more details about the Seed Program, don't hesitate to come to me. I'm here for that. Okay, everyone has taken the pictures. So now, pitch session. I will start with Albedia. So please welcome Emeric from Albedia.
Uniquement sur celui-ci. Hello, I'm Emeric Bamer, engineer and architect and CEO of Albedia, a climate and intelligence software for sustainable buildings. This project is supported by Leonard. When I was building an environmental engineering team within an architecture firm, I realized there was real need. The professional need to become more autonomous on climate and environmental issues. That's why I create Albedia, a solution to help adapt building to environmental challenge. Our goal to help professionals make better and faster decisions for offering an all-in-one environmental software. We centralize the key tools and data needed for climate and environmental analysis, for use seeking autonomy, and for decision makers looking to grow their business. What is Albedia? SaaS software, subscription-based access, augmented GIS data, 3D simulation environment, business interoperability, not a carbon footprint tool. How does it work? Okay, just enter the address of your project and get a complete and automate site survey in one click, and access a real-time urban analysis. Albedia automatizes import urban 3D data, building and local climate to simulate the project using environmental design in real time. Check, check, check. You can import your project and analyze it quickly and easily. Follow that. They are developed a parametric component with video game graphic designers to help visualize and design your building. This is a trace. You might just. You can make a trace and the mode nature. Okay. We bring visibility to make don't show. Albedia centralizes all the essential site study data, automates using over 10 databases: climate, environment, context, mobility, energy, land, water, and nature. All the data you need. Energy, the solar energy and the rentabilities, the risk, the regulation. Albedia, it's for this solution. It's designed for real estate developers, planners, and architects. It's designed for print is adapted to the scenes of the company. C'est pas la dernière version. But since joining the seed program in Leonard, we have benefited to 20 days of dedicated support. We are looking for French investors from intuition to decision choice Albedia.
Thank you, Emeric. How the tough exercise, but he's a non-English speaker, so it was a tough exercise. So please congrats him. And yeah, you haven't told, but this is a really strong software. We have already 2 contracts with Albedia, especially for real estate. So if you to unlock environmental studies for real estate, asset managers, property managers, facility managers, etc., contractors. So that you do a great job. So thank you very much, Emmerich, for that. So now we will go to the next startups, more focused on corrosion protection. Please welcome Simon from Bluespine.
Hello everyone, I'm Simon Di Haro, CEO of Bluespine and co-founder, of course. Today I'm going to share with you some inputs about how Bluespine is tackling a major global issue, which is corrosion of concrete or reinforced concrete in civil infrastructure, reinforced concrete, sorry. So what we know today is that 80% of reinforced concrete structures are damaged, endangered by corrosion. In France alone, it is 25,000 bridges that are damaged or endangered by corrosion and need a treatment. Okay, so now you're an owner of a structure that is endangered by corrosion. What are your solutions? There are only 2. It's either demolition and reconstruction, or rebuilding, which is very expensive, or either treatment of corroded structure, and so to expand its lifetime. So Bluespine is proposing a solution that is allowing to keep them alive and reducing this way costs, environmental impact, and users' impact, of course. How do we do this? We do this with cathodic protection. It is a technology that enables to stop corrosion by impressing current through the rebars into the concrete towards the rebar network. Sorry, the current is controlled and the system is monitored through sensors. Today there are 2 solutions that allows to stop corrosion. The first one is mainly the most renewed. It's a galvanic sacrificial system with zinc, for example. And the other one is impressed current through anodes like carbon or titanium. The historical treatment today are very difficult to understand. They are complex, they are not easy to install, and they need a lot of skills. That is why there is a lot of people, a lot of companies that should work in this field and cannot because it appears complex to them. Bluespine, our goal is to simplify this. We propose a full range of solutions, including an ICCP or GCCP cabinet of monitoring and control, all the material and equipment that are needed to install them, like anodes and source cables, all the control tools that are needed also. We also provide access to SAS platform, which enables to control and monitor the system remotely from your desktop, for example. Our system is going to be AI-powered in a few months following, and we even propose an innovative system that allows to autonomously control galvanic systems without power. So what makes us different? First of all, we want to build a one-stop shop for corrosion and cathodic protection. And also our plug-and-play system saves time and money. With Bluespine, we want to enlarge the list of companies skilled enough to install cathodic protection. So today, this is how our company is structured. It is divided into 3 different departments, technique, services, business, and marketing. And our goal is to strengthen our structure to reach our goal, which is to become the real one-stop shop of cathodic protection in France and in the world. We are also advised by 2 very skilled people, which is Raoul François and Philippe. Merci. We also have a lot of partnerships with industrial, academic, and institutional partners. We are members of the French Association for Corrosion and Cathodic Protection, and also the American one, the AMPP. And about the market itself, the corrosion costs are estimated to around 2% of the GDP of developed countries. It means that it represents around $350 billion every year. And the goal of BlueSpine is to treat around 2,000 structures, thanks to the partnership with 75 companies skilled and trained by BlueSpine in the 10 following years. And what is more impressive than that, the thing is that the market is booming. It is in total expansion due to the fact that a lot of structures are coming to the end of the lifespan, their service, and also the fact that we are in a transition, ecological transition, so we think a lot more about the aging of our structure, and also the evolution of the guarantee, the quality standards. We address the market by dividing it into 3 categories: project owners, project managers, and of course works company, which are our direct customers. Our stream revenue are divided into 3 categories: material and equipments. The major part of them are homemade, made in France. We provide also services that enable us to develop the number of projects that are launched in Catholic protection, such as engineering, diagnosis, design, but also training programs for our partners. And finally, subscription for the access to our CES platform. The average basket in Catholic protection today is around 80,000, 70,000 euros. So we already processed the sales of several projects. The main one, the first one, was this building in Montpellier. Our go-to-market strategy is to train and to develop partnerships with works companies, and also to establish a privileged linked with them, the goal being to use their own network, so project owners, project managers, people that are able to recommend the use of Catholic protection to develop the market. Thanks to the Leonard YouTube program and the help of Antoine Larousse, we had several interactions with some entities of the group, of the VNC group. Mainly with project manager, project owners such as Vinci Autoroute, ASF, Coffee Route, Vinci Grand Projet. Also with works companies such as Freycinet, which is the leader in France and mainly in the world also, but also Cofex Littoral, Cofex GTM Travaux Spéciaux, Dodin Campenon Bernard, Nuvia in Belgium, sorry. And some of those discussions led to different future projects, such as the Catholic protection of beachside buildings, thermal spa, and also a collaborative research project with Vinci Grand Projet. So in the future, we are aiming to develop also to address different markets, being, for example, follow-up of development of corrosion, so prevention mainly, with monitoring and sensors, and also diagnosis tools. We are able also to develop systems that can address other structures, such as buried structures, marine structures. This is how we are expecting to develop our company in the following years, depending on the structure treated and the partnership developed. Our break-even point is located around 2027, so in 2 years. So today we are benefiting a lot of on the help of the French government and Europe. But what we are aiming for is a fundraising of 1 million euros in order to expand our range and become the real one-stop shop of Catholic protection, and to reduce by only at least 20% our processing costs. So to sum up our project, the goal is to address 2,000 structures by 10 years, benefiting on the help and the network of 70 partners trained by Blue Spine, thanks also to a fundraising of 1 million euros. So the goal is to propose you to join us and together to secure the future of our infrastructure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Simon. Really detailed solution. Also, if you are expert in corrosion or bridges, etc., don't hesitate to go to him at the village. Next startup, I'm pleased to welcome Priscille from Chimera.
I was looking for a timer, but there is one apparently. Hi, I'm Priscille Béguin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Chimera, and I will talk to you about climate change and flood risks. So last year, flood risks cost 50 billion euros across the world for asset managers. It was 50 billion euros also for insurance company and banks. And climate change is targeting these costs to be tripled by 2050. So we will lose around 150 billion euros per year just in flood management. So why does it cost so much? First, this is a little bit. It costs so much because flood is very difficult to understand. Flood is very difficult to model, is very difficult to predict. It's multifactorial. For each region, it's different. And so models around the world are very poorly understanding how flood is behaving. So when you are a risk manager, you have a very basic understanding on your exposure to these risks and what you can do to mitigate that risk. So what we do in Chimera is creating the first economical vulnerability database to understand how flood events will impact your assets and your bottom line. So we have a stack tech in 4 parts. First part is climate model. We model how the temperature outside will change the way it rains. This climate model will push rain events to a catastrophic model that will reproduce in 3D, in high scale, and in high resolution how the water will flow inside a region to understand how flood events will happen today and tomorrow. And then this catastrophic model push its results to an impact model that will calculate how much it will cost, depending on the asset, where it's based, and what type of asset is it. And then all this information it push to a business analytics tool, a SaaS software that helps you understand what's your asset, where is it, how it's exposed to that flood events, and what you can do to make it more secure and more resilient in time. We can do it for one asset or for a complete portfolio up until millions of addresses. We address the risk data market. It's a very huge market with 3 main goals for us. Insurance and reinsurance market, of course, and asset managers around the world for rail, road, real estate, and retail. So Vinci is a very important open door for us to test this vertical, especially for the concession part in Vinci. What we aim to do is to create the perfect tool for risk manager to understand their risks and create the plan for attack, to have the right money to put on the table, to put their assets in security and create resilience for the future of our cities. So it's a platform that don't revolutionize the way you look at data, but revolutionize the way you understand it. Basically, we analyze the exposure by category of risks. Flood, marine submersions, and runoff models are directly embedded into the platform. You can analyze how your portfolio of assets is touched by what type of risks, how much it will cost you. You will be able to take informed decisions on the evolution of the losses you will have because of that risks, prioritize your adaptation plan, and know how much it will cost you to do nothing, how much it will cost to do something, and how much you will gain by doing something and protecting your assets. You can analyze the vulnerability of one asset. For example, it's a place in Dunkirk, here in the north of France. And we can analyze how much water there is actually in risks today, how much it will change with time. So right now we are looking at the risk in 2050. Today it's 0. In 2050, if we took 4 more degrees outside, they will have more than 2 meters of water at that space, and it will happen every 10 years. So for the assets, it's a complete change of understanding of how it will operate in time. And we can analyze how much money they will lost, 1.5 million per event, and what they can do to create resilience at that pace. We took our first sale in 2024. Currently, we are building our portfolio of clients. We have around 8 million euros in our funnel at date. And what we want to do is geographic expansion outside of France. Our target is the whole world. And having at scale all the different climate risks in our platform by 2027. We are a 10 years collaboration team. We worked a lot on R&D on our project before launching the commercialization phase. We are 8 at the moment. 2 are not on this slide because they happen to come before the slide was made. And we have a good advisory board around our team to strengthen our response to the market needs. We're fundraising 1.3 million euros in equity to hit the 10 million annual revenue by 2027. And that's it. Work with us. We have demo outside if you want to know if you will lose your house in 10 years, and ask how you can manage to protect it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Priscille. Now another topic, but also linked to risks. I'm pleased to welcome Philippe from Enlay.
Thank you very much. Afternoon, everybody. I'm the midway act, so you're halfway through. My name is Philippe Breivel. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Enlay. We are actually a Boston-based company with a presence here in France. So most of the team is actually based at the Harvard Innovation Labs, where we were accelerated last year. And my co-founder and CTO, Stamati, is an old friend of mine from high school here in the suburbs of Paris, in Saint-Germain-en-Laye, which is just on the end of the red line, if you remember it. And so that's what we named the company after. And we are proud members of the 2025 Leonard Seed cohort that's been really transformational in our mission of why Enlay exists. We exist because to build is to manage risk. Now, if you want to play a little game, on this picture, there are 24 different types of risk. You can try and see how many you can identify in the first few seconds. It's going to be up. But risk management is not just in the field. It also happens in the office, and increasingly so with the amount of documentation, spec work that is expected of people in the field. And this is a problem that affects the entirety of the life cycle. If I take the typical construction life cycle, first you start by bidding a job where you put a price. That price essentially becomes your revenue, barring change orders. And then your entire job is to manage the red line so it stays below the green revenue line, and you make some profit only at the end of the job if you managed it well, and in this business it's less than 5%. And the one continuous curve throughout all of the life cycle, the job from design, bidding, the construction and active life, is risk management that is never flat and is never zero. And this is a problem that affects all the actors of a project, not just the general contractors, which are more the world that I come from, but all people around the negotiation table. It's true for developers and public owners especially, but also designers and other actors of the value chain, because risk is the one common language of a project. So how do we fix this problem? Well, we start by plugging into where your project data is. So we'll connect to, you can upload files obviously, but if you, like 99% of the business work on SharePoint, we'll plug into that, or professional management tools like Autodesk. And then we build one large knowledge graph per project that you're on. We essentially find all the links and interconnections through that project data. The reason we do that is because I think we've all been in this position where some appendix or attachment attachment somewhere, had some minor detail, but you didn't have it open at the time. And so because you missed that, then your interpretation of a risk profile was wrong. By building a verticalized, BuiltWorld specific knowledge graph on top of each of your projects, we can find those interconnections, and then that network is what we navigate to better manage risk. It becomes, if you will, the brain of the project on which your team then starts collaborating for one simple reason. That brain becomes the institutional memory of the project. All the work that's contributed is stayed on there, meaning that if someone moves to a different job or is poached by another company or just leaves because they burn out, whatever happens, your institutional memory, what you need to know, especially around risk, stays in the company. And in a business where, at least in the United States, 40% of the workforce is due to retire by 2030, and there's a massive labor shortage both in the field and in the office, institutional memory is an increasingly important concern. That leads us to what is our not very sexy but very descriptive tagline of what we do, which is risk lifecycle management. Risk is omnipresent. It's not just in the building phase, it's also in the execution phase and the bidding phase, and if you are an owner, in the active life. And so we know that risk is present during the entire life cycle, and we want to give you the unlock of your data from past projects so that you can better manage that life cycle no matter where along you are. To see it in action, you just need to go downstairs where the coffee is and come play with it. We have a demo available in the room downstairs. Suffice it to say that this little QR code will give you a demo. The one thing I will point out on this illustration is that we give every single task the AI does, it gives you down to the exact clause, data point, exact page on a drawing, little comment, call-out box, where it found the source. Because engineers are inherently skeptical, and getting that information right is super important. So we made it really easy to go check the work the AI did so that you don't have to trust your assistants on first glance. To give you a sense of our traction, both on the commercial side and the venture side, we raised $1.7 million in the US middle of last year, summer of 2024, from 3 institutional investors and Leonard, who joined in once we were admitted into the seed program. We launched the product at the end of last quarter, and we broke the $100,000 ARR metric, or we will be breaking it for Q2. We service on a pretty basic SaaS business model, per user, per license, per month license, excuse me, simply because we do risk lifecycle management across all projects. We're not focused on project by project. And I'm delighted to report that in the 2 quarters we've been operating, we're already deployed on $12 billion of project value on projects in the US, Canada, and France. And we're also very interconnected in the innovation space. Obviously, we're based in Boston, so we're connected to the Harvard Innovation Labs, a bunch of other very good schools, BU, MIT, and we're also very connected into the French ecosystem. Which brings me to the successes of this cohort, because that's why we're here today, to celebrate Leonard Seed. So as you heard Antoine mention, that there was a bunch of contracts that came out this year. I'm delighted to report that Enlay represents more than half of them, and that we individually met over 230 people at Vinci. That actually, it turns out that people in this business talk to each other, so that organically grew to beyond Vinci, to other members in the community, including ICA, who is the largest GC in Mexico. We're delighted to announce, we announced this last night at the pre-event, but as of 2 weeks ago, Enlay is an Autodesk authorized developer, so we're part of their development network, building an integration, the first one, which will be with Autodesk Construction Cloud. We've also been pursuing SOC 2 and GDPR as a way to reassure our customers on data privacy, and we're working on some future integrations. And then on the news and coverage side, we won several awards along the way, including the French-American Entrepreneurship Awards, which was a fun one. We've been covering in a bunch of press. And we are obviously at this BuiltWorlds conference, but we will see you also in Chicago in a couple of months for the Contech conference, which we are delighted to sponsor. And I know I'm a little bit over time, but no good batch cohort incubator is complete without a nice little photo board. Since most of the team is in Boston, I'd like to relay their sincere thanks and gratitude for a wonderful program. And thanks again to Vinci and Leonard for helping us for 6 months.
Thank you, Philippe. Now, the next startup, I think you have seen, all of you, their solution. I think when you come to here, you have seen the big balloon. So please welcome Martin from Highlight.
Thank you, Antoine. Wow, such an amazing pitch from Anlay. I hope that this pitch will also be good. But it's hard to speak after a native English speaker. So yeah, we built highlights. We revolutionized aerial inspection. We do that by developing a new kind of drone, the highlighter, which you also at the entrance of the building. It's huge, right? Quite huge. But it fits into a trailer, and so we can very easily transport it and carry it whenever we need to do inspections. So why do we develop this highlighter? Well, it's to inspect infrastructures, to inspect assets from above. And so there is plenty assets in our planet, so 48 million of kilometers, and all of those assets need to be inspected with high precision. And that is where there is issues, because if you don't inspect it, if you don't know the problems that you have, then you cannot fix them. And currently there is quite a lot of problem on those assets. There is wildfires in California that are caused by vegetation that is too close from power lines. Last Friday in France, you had a leak of pipeline that caused fires. And so, yeah, those assets need to be inspected, and the way currently it is done is not efficient. You have drones that are used, but drones can only fly for 30 minutes, and so they can only do local and very small inspections. And so currently, most of our clients are still using helicopters to do those massive inspections. But you know, helicopters are quite expensive. They are highly emissive in terms of CO2, and they are not data-driven. So those are still people inside the helicopters with cameras that take pictures of the problems. For example, it's problems on a power line, leaks on a pipeline, and other kind of issues. And so, thanks to that, and because of this huge challenge, usually our clients are, mixing and match different methods. So they will use helicopters for massive linear inspections, and whenever they see a problem, then they will ask a drone to come and to have more precision. What we want to do is to bring this precision, this high precision, on a massive scale. And we think that is a huge opportunity to have a more resilient network and to make sure that all of our assets are well maintained. And that's the highlighter. So 20 times more flight time than classic drones, 5 times more payload, and of course on the risk part, 95% less risk than any other solution. And that is what currently we can fly above France, above Europe, above any assets you could need to inspect. We've unlocked the main regulatory barriers and technical barriers, such as the speed. We can face up to 40 kilometers of wind, which is quite important, to do massive inspections. We've unlocked the regulatory barrier that allows us to scale operations, and on the propulsion part, we are fully ready to scale those operations. How it works? We provide an inspection as a service. Maybe you can launch the video. I don't know if it's launched. Okay, yeah, perfect, amazing. So basically, our clients need data. We come with the highlighter to their infrastructures, and we inspect massively their network, and then we collect the data with high precision, and after we send them reports on how the assets are how they are actually, if they are good or if there is any issue on it. It's quite straightforward, and the cost and the unit economics are very interesting, because of course, if you want to scale up a solution, even if it's green, you have to also have unit economics that are more interesting than what is used. On the market size, so there is a 7 billion needs annually in the world. So that's basically when you count all inspection made on power lines and pipelines. But of course, we will not stop there. And so on the global scale, we want to massively inspect assets. And in total, of course, the size and the need is massive. You can think of highlights as a satellite that is very close from the ground and that can automatically inspect data where it's needed. We are a quite amazing team of 20 people, and we surrounded ourselves with key mentors and key accelerators, such as Y Combinator, and Mark Tarpening, who is the co-founder of Tesla. And very happy to be part of the seed program of Leonard, because thanks to that, we signed a first contract with Omexom. The inspection with Omexom will start in July, and we are still having discussions with Vinci Concession, Energies, Auto, and Construction. And I'm happy to share here other key milestones with Chiefs, with Natron, Enedis, and also SNCF Réseau. This is an inspection we've made just yesterday above the TGV that goes from Paris to Strasbourg. So we're quite proud of this achievement as a team. Thank you for listening. We are revolutionizing Earth observation with the most efficient technology. And if you want to find a new way to inspect your assets, well, feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you, Martin. First contract and more to come. So next startup, I think a total different solution, but Sébastien will present its revolutionary way to generate revenue from decarbonization of assets.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Sébastien Renaud, the co-founder and CEO of Newable. At Newable, our ambition is to build the go-to partner for commercial real estate players, helping them on tackling one of their biggest short-term challenge, the decarbonization of their portfolio, real estate portfolio. And we are making it simple and profitable for them. So there's a big momentum on that aspect on the real estate world. Both the regulatory pressure doubled by a market pressure is forcing the real estate landlords to plan their decarbonization. And the European leaders of the industry are even going further with objectives of being net zero by 2030. The main problem on this is the way buildings are heated and cooled, responsible of up to 90% of the CO2 emission of a building. And extensive renovation will stay marginal to tackle this problem because it deeply impacts the building occupancy with often prohibitive costs. So what we do at Newable, we do not touch anything to the building except its energy source for heating and cooling, often the gas boiler, and we substitute it by the most appropriate renewable energy mix. We mix renewable sources, could it be geothermal, solar, waste heat, and storage, with applying replicable patterns and enabling to cut energy consumption by 2 in average for the building and carbon emission by 5. So we are enabling our clients to make a huge step forward in the net zero race. We operate long-term these renewable energy facilities, and on this, our software is a key element to operate this at scale. Even during installation, we're going to capture the appropriate data, energy data, by installing sensors within the building, enabling to train our model and soon acquire an unbeatable knowledge of the energy behavior of the building, with 2 objectives: maximize the ROI of the landlords during installation, avoiding any over-dimensioning, and of course, prefigurating the AI pilot of our facility. Because when we have our 2 feet within the buildings and the facility running, our software will act in 3 directions: maximize the energy efficiency of the facility, producing a big amount of heating and cooling while consuming very few electricity, applying a dynamic procurement strategy on our main cost center, being the electricity needed to run the system, and also to trigger additional revenues for us. We are thinking about, for instance, being remunerated for electric flexibility services. And last but not least, we differentiate with our value creation business model. We sell the energy produced, the clean energy produced by the facility to the building at a competitive price, and we reverse part of the value creation to the landlord, enabling him to make a financial return on its decarbonization investment. So in brief, our goal is to stay long-term within the building, generate annual recurring revenue, and with a capex-light model, because we make this investment finally attractive for landlords. So the 6 last months has been a tremendous journey with Leonard and Vinci, and that it helped us a lot to achieve our roadmap. So we became public at MIPIM 2025, and we turned it into a big commercial success thanks to Leonard's support. And now we have a portfolio today of 1 million square meter under paid study. We built a first team thanks to a pre-seed financing round of more than 3 million euro. And on that as well, Leonard's support has been key on intros and follow-up all around the process with investors. And we finally launched our first implementation projects, and on which, of course, Vinci Energies, for instance, is a highly valuable partner on the works execution side. But overall, over the 6 months, we set up the foundation of a long-term partnership with the group, getting access with a significant number of C-levels of Vinci Group. And we believe that we can do even bigger together, and we are exploring synergies, for instance, to build common offer with Vinci Energies and Facilities, and also to provide our solution for Vinci Import, for instance. So thank you very much, and happy to get your question after the event.
Thank you, Sébastien. And last but not least, we will talk about purchasing. So please welcome Mike from Sillon.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna be quick. I will try to be quick because I know I'm last, and I'm sure you are all over like having startup pitching. So I'm not from the construction industry. I was actually an IP lawyer before. I know nothing about construction. I've been learning everything about construction for over 2 years now, working on Sillon. And one of the key remarks I had, just asking question around, is like how much construction work costs. You know, like how do we actually like make sure to have the right estimation, and how do we know like if we're making a profit or not? And like I asked so many people around, and they were all giving me pretty much the same answer, which is it depends. And so we wanted to tackle that. We noticed that in construction purchasing, there have been a lot of issues, just managing invoices, quotes, contracts, any kind of spending-related documents. And so we built some classification models and extraction models algorithm to actually tackle this problem of first make sure that everything that takes time doesn't take time anymore. And also, we make sure that we reuse all the pricing data that there is in construction tech. So this is Sillon is actually a platform, B2B platform, a SaaS, that aims at comparing bids. Simple as that. And then obviously there are like multiple cases, use cases, and we worked with Danchi on like finding those the more crucial ones. Obviously, getting the data and making sure the data is clean is the key to actually building cost databases. The issue we have nowadays is like when you have a pricing databases, it's usually not maintained, so not up to date, but also it's really hard to have something proper if automated. So starting by helping engineers comparing bids, then we have actually the human feedback we need to actually have the exact, clean, and correct pricing databases we need for the construction to understand the pricing and help them price right. Obviously, we know that this is unfortunately one of the biggest market that went backwards with digitalization, because we started from having like one file with paper, and then so, like the next day we had like multiple versions of the same document all over all the people involved in the project. So we want to make sure that we get back to having like a collaborative platform where everything is. And so just a few looks about the product. So it's pretty much taking out the engineers from Excel. We aim at improving their efficiency by 3 or 4. So tomorrow they would be able to fully use any kind of pricing database for the use. Also, the goal is for them to easily purchase. So we will help them like identify where are anything wrong with the quotes and invoices. Okay, slide is broken, but SaaS subscription model, and this is a pretty big market that obviously we can address around Europe. And with Vinci, the whole goal was to kind of get in touch with the right people, understand like what they need, what is crucial for them to actually be able to provide give an estimate of the right price. And we got in touch with over like 140 people within the next 6 months, and we met 50 people, directors within the Vinci group that were interested into building these building cost databases. And now we have actually a few trials on the way, a few proof of concept on some use cases that we identified together. And our goal is actually to be able to build a few of those POCs, proof of concept, and just duplicate them around all the entity and VNCs. And we're also working on 2 big agencies and national agreement, just for any kind of agency to be able to take advantage of our platform for bid comparison. Thank you, and feel free to reach out to us. We are in the area next door. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Already 5 proof concept in 5 different operational entities and more to come, so well done. So thank you for your attention. I think if you have opportunities to unlock with these startups, go meet them to the village. I think if we succeed in making some proof of concepts and experimentations with them, you can also to do it. So thank you for your attention. And if you need anything, go to me.